checking the date because I can never remember what date it is. It's Thursday, I do know that. 25th of February. So I'm still playing a little bit of catch up because what with one thing and another, we've got some things going on in the house, getting a bit of work done. So we're painting like buggery, and kids are acting up and everything like that. I'm basically kind of on track, and I have managed to get myself a little bit ahead. So I'm going to try and play catch up a little bit this weekend just to give myself a little bit of a head start. So we are continuing the bourbons, and we are continuing the Small Batch Bourbon collection that was released by Jim Beam Company. The first of which was the one we had last night, which was Booker's, after Booker No, who was James B. Beam's grandson. Now the next one we're going to have is another namesake, and it is this one called Baker's. Now this is named after, now I had loads of issues trying to open the other one, so I'm going to try this instead. Something happened. Oh yeah, I've completely cracked the wax. There we go. Let's see if that works. Yeah, this is another namesake. This is named after Baker Beam, who is James B. Beam's grandnephew. And I found some pictures, but they're not great quality, so I'll put one up now, and hopefully that's a decent enough quality that you can actually see what the guy looks like. Now again, he's worked at the distillery. He's not a master distiller as such, but he's heavily involved in it. And essentially this was another one where it's kind of, he was picking them, and the sort of USP on this one as opposed to the Booker's is that it's distilled at a slightly lower percentage when it's distilled, so they actually kind of they bring it off at about sort of the late 50s, if not a little less than that. And it's actually bottled at 107 proof, so it might be cask strength, but I think they are diluting it very slightly just to try and get the best balance that they want to do, because I don't believe this is full on cask strength. It's 7-year-old as well. It's aged for 7 years, and again this is small batches of casks that they're combining together. So I think it's I think they are leveling it off with a little bit of dilution. Now, the other USP of this as well is also that they apparently it's referenced basically in a number of places that they use a special kind of jug yeast. Now, there is some debate as whether this is just a fancy marketing term and they're just using the ordinary yeast that they use with bog standard Jim Beam, but apparently it is. There is something there that's giving it some kind of differential between this and the other bourbons that they're using as well. So, I've got water if necessary, and we'll see what happens, because it's 53.5%, 107 proof. It's still pretty potent stuff, so it probably will need some water, but we'll see how it goes without it. Hopefully you can see that, a lovely rich dark colour, really, really good colour on that kind of depth of colour I particularly like in my bourbons. Oh yes, really rich, really kind of burnt caramel, rich and deep, and not much burn on the nose. Even with a fairly deep breath, it's not anywhere near as fiery as the Booker's was the other night. Sorry, last night, of course. But yeah, really rich, really intense, and it's a very nice kind of the alcohol's there, you can smell it, but it's not too intense, and it's actually supporting the elements of the nose that are there. Really, really nice. A lovely burst of sweetness, and there's a really nice pepperiness in there as well. It's not what you'd call like a Talisker pepperiness. It's the higher alcohol percentage that's giving you that pepperiness there, but it's really well done. Really, really nice, really rich, quite lasting. It's still going now, and that caramel toffee flavour is kind of coming through in waves. Very, very good indeed. Actually, I'm really liking that. I have just discovered that I've got a very slight nick on the top of my lip there, because that really hurt. But that's not the whiskey's fault, that's me. Ow. just there. Not sure if you can see it, but I've got a tiny little nick clearly because it's just gone zing right in my lip. Really, really good. I'm not sure this necessarily needs water, but I am going to try a couple of drops, probably with just a little bit left, because it's very well balanced indeed. Much more drinkable neat than the Booker's. Yeah, really lovely balance. Loads of deep, dark, rich flavours in there. Like I say, a real burnt caramel texture to it. Almost a bit of citrusiness in there as well. Sort of on the finish, as everything dies down, there's this just undercurrent of kind of a nice fresh lemoniness. That is a very, very good bourbon. I really like that. I'm going to take one more little sip. Yeah, a little bit more fiery that time, but even so, those flavours are still there. If they have diluted it deliberately, if they have, as I think they've done, diluted it, and they've done that deliberately, they've absolutely nailed it. Because I think if it was pure cask strength at that level that Booker's was, it would be too full on. It would be too intense. So let me just add a couple of drops when the thing comes out. Might be a bit too much, but we'll see how it goes. I highly recommend Baker's. In the UK, you're looking at about 50 quid. You're looking at about $40 in the US. It looks like I've picked up some people that are watching from America now, so it's very nice to see you through the Bourbon Lovers Facebook group and Whiskey and Bourbon Appreciation group as well. Really nice bunch of people there. My timeline is now full of utter bastards with bottles that I will probably never get my hands on, going, hey, look what I just picked up from Missouri, look what I just picked up in Pittsburgh, and I'm just sitting there going, can you not spare me 25 mils and send it over to the UK, please? If you're watching, guys, and you can do that, that would be absolutely amazing. I'm in Orlando in May, and if anybody's, we've actually got a place out there, and if anybody actually fancies posting some samples to an address in Orlando so I can pick them up when they're out there, that would be fantastic. Because there are loads and loads of whiskies that I'm missing out on. Anyway, back to this. Yeah, it does lose a bit. It's lost a little bit more. It's still eminently drinkable, but that richness and that deepness just isn't there anymore. I may have put slightly too much in. It was only a tiny bit left in the glass, and I put a couple of drops too much more. I put a couple more drops than I would have liked to. There's a sentence in English in there somewhere. Basically, I put too much water in. I didn't kill it, but it's probably just diluted it slightly too much. Yeah, it's just lost that edginess, which was the extra alcohol that was in there, and the kind of the concentration of flavours. But all in all, that is one cracking bourbon. Really, really good. Really prefer that to Booker's as well. Very, very good. Really good neat. Yeah, highly recommend that. Grab a bottle if you can. It's good stuff. You've done your great uncle proud, Mr. Beam. Right, I'm going to rinse everything out and then we'll crack on with another one. See you in a bit.